Okay, so I've been asked by a few people to provide some core strength exercises, and certainly sort of stuff that I use, and particularly in relation to hockey and stuff that I find helps. Obviously, looking after your core and therefore your lower back, especially in the game that we play, is really, really important. We do spend most of our time sort of bent over in a hunch sort of position, so making sure you particularly look after your lower back is very important. So these are some of the exercises that I use, and they're certainly not limited just the ones that I use, but these are the ones that I use regularly and certainly have sort of given to clients in the past to use. So look, the main thing first of all is just a basic crunch is what I use. So the main purpose of your rectus abdominis, so pretty much your six-pack muscles, is to shorten the distance between your sternum and pelvis. So the idea is we're trying to decrease that position there and obviously flexing those rectus abdominis muscles as we do that. The alternative, something that people get confused with, is a sit-up. So a full sit-up is sitting right to the top, like that. But in order to do that, yes, you use your core, but you also use your hip flexors in order to get you in that sort of upright position at the end. I like to just focus on just my core strength, if that's what I'm trying to work. So therefore, concentrating on shortening that distance between sternum and pelvis and getting the best core work that I can do, I find far more advantageous. So first of all, I'll start with just resting my fingers on my temples. Imagine you're holding an orange underneath your chin, so it stops you from straining your neck muscles. Certainly if you do find, if you haven't done a lot of core strength stuff and haven't done a lot of crunches, you might find you get quite stiff and sore in the neck. You can use your hands sort of clasped behind your head just to take the weight of your head. The main thing is don't use your arms and chest to sort of pull you forward and sort of reef on your head and neck in order to get you up. You are just trying to take the weight of your head until you can build the strength and endurance in your neck muscles in order to take the weight. So fingers lightly on your temples. I'm just going to come to that sort of position there. So therefore I've decreased that distance between sternum and pelvis. I'm going to do a slight hold at the top before lowering back down. So again, fingers on the temples, up, squeeze, back down to my head's pretty much on the ground before I go again. Squeeze, back down, squeeze, back down. So I'm looking at doing 20 reps and probably a couple of sets to start with, 3 sets in the future, or certainly if I'm finding that sort of a little bit easy, then go onto your 3 sets. So that's, as I said, rectus abdominis. So make sure you include your obliques as well. So a couple exercises for that. One that I like to use again is, so I'm using my rectus abdominis in order to hold myself up. Then I'm going to reach down, touch my ankle on this side. So I've got my heels, probably 30 centimetres away from my bum. I'm going to touch my heels on either side. So again, nice, slow, controlled movement. I'm not trying to sort of, do them really quickly. I'm not relying on momentum to make the movement. I'm relying on muscle strength and endurance in order to make that movement. So yes, it will still work your rectus abdominis, but also works the obliques. Obliques are obviously really important. Sorry, your whole core is important, but your obliques are definitely important in a lot of our rotational movements that we use. So sort of pushing, hitting, slapping the hockey ball, etc. So again, same sort of rep range and sets. In between sets, you're probably looking at about a minute's rest. You can try and decrease that as you find you're getting better at the exercise. So another good oblique exercise. So again, I'm going to set myself up nice straight back. So I want to rotate around a nice straight spine. So we're not sort of hunching over doing this. We are trying to hold a nice straight spine as best we can. Feet on the floor to start with. I'm going to use a dumbbell or medicine ball. So this is 5 kilos, but you can certainly look at sort of 2-3 kilos to start with. No real advantage in going a great deal heavier. Technique's the most important thing. So again, having a nice straight spine and doing this exercise properly is far more important than grabbing a 10, 15 kilogram plate and then not getting as good a technique. So holding in both hands, nice straight back. I'm going to rotate from that side to that side in that sort of fashion. Once you get better at that and you get a bit more stable, you might get your feet up off the ground now and rotating from side to side. Again, concentrating on keeping that nice straight spine. Over and back is generally 1, so again between sort of 15 and 20 of those, depending on how you're going. So they work, as said, rectus abdominis and obliques. We've also got a deeper layer muscle called our transverse abdominis, which is really, really important for stability and protecting our lower back, and a really good exercise for that, and most people know this one, is the plank. So setting up on your forearms, elbows directly below your shoulders. Obviously if we're out like that, then you're putting a lot of strain in your shoulders, etc., in order to hold yourself up. So our main focus is working on our core. Elbows directly below your shoulders. I should have a nice straight line between my shoulders and ankles. I don't want them to bum up in the air. I want to make sure I've got them nice and straight. Neutral pelvis. So again, I don't want to sort of drop my stomach down towards the floor or other way around. I want a nice neutral pelvis. And I'm going to concentrate on pulling my belly button up towards my spine. So that just helps engage that transverse abdominal muscle. And again, you're looking at holding that for about a minute and a couple of sets. If you're finding it hard on your toes, you can drop down to your knees. So certainly you might like to start on your toes. You might get 30 seconds, 45 seconds, and then finish off on your knees if you can. Alternatively, you may wish to start on your knees to begin with. But again, exactly the same principle. I want a nice straight line between my shoulders and my knees in this case. Alright, that's that one. Really important is muscle balance. So if you're going to work one side, it's the same if you train your arms, you're going to do biceps, it's important you do triceps to get that muscle balance. Same with this, if you're going to work front, really important to work the back as well. So in this instance, I'm going to use an exercise, lower back extensions, to make sure that I work my lower back as well. So to start with, hands down by your sides. I'm just going to concentrate on lifting my hands off the ground and my chest and shoulders up. So squeezing my shoulders back as I come up, and that's going to work through your lower back. Again, nice controlled movement, so you don't fling yourself in there and then drop yourself back. It's a nice controlled movement up and down. So we're working the muscles through a concentric and eccentric phase. So that sort of fashion there. Okay, so the step up from that, or progression forward, is shoulders and legs up off the ground. So just trying to lift my knees up slightly as I come down. Nice controlled motion. From that, hands under your chin, arms and legs up, and then progression from that, hands out in front, lifting myself up. So I'm not dropping myself to the ground. I'm actually barely touching the ground, if touching the ground at all, so I don't give myself a rest in between. Trying to work on the endurance of the muscle also, and time under tension is increased by not resting between. Okay, so same sort of thing. Look, with the lower back one that I've just done then, so you're probably looking at perhaps a rep range again between 15 and 20, depending on how much sort of core stuff you've done previously. But yeah, so that's pretty much my normal foundation core workout, if you like. Do a lot of different stuff, including balance stuff on a standing on a balance board and sort of tapping a hockey ball, or juggling a couple of balls and that sort of thing to work on stability in that way as well. But certainly those exercises will give you a good foundation. Anyway, good luck.